Hello students, it's Miss Ryan. I am making this video newsletter and also posting a text version of the newsletter just to reach out and touch base with you all on a few important things, both academic and non-academic, during this non-traditional instruction, aka Corona Go time. As you probably know already, we're going to be out of school for another 2 weeks at least after spring break. And so I just kind of wanted to take this time to check in on how everything's going with you all and make some suggestions that have helped me and that will probably help you cope with this unusual situation that we're in. So one thing that I would really recommend is setting a schedule for yourself if you haven't done this yet. Set aside a time and a space to get your schoolwork done. So I was working at the kitchen table and losing my mind because the kitchen table is where I was working, but also where I was cooking and eating and hanging out. And so there was no division between like my work life and my personal home life. And I was just working all the time. And it was also it was very stressful. So one thing that I did is I set up a little spot in my attic. That is where I am. I'm in my attic for me to work. And I also established a schedule for myself, and I'll share it with you. So it's my daily schedule. Get up, do yoga, have a little meditation, shower, coffee, news, start work at 8:30. And then I also created some work routines for myself. So there are certain things that I need to do every day, grading and planning, checking in with students. Sometimes I have Zoom meetings with the administration and the faculty. Sometimes I have Zoom meeting with other teachers. So yeah, it's important to break up the day so that you're not just in one kind of never-ending work mode all the time. A couple suggestions that I made were light a candle and maybe listen to certain music while you work. You can actually train your brain to move into a more productive mindset. So I have a relax candle that's lavender, and it's really nice. I think actually one of my students gave this to me, so thank you. And so I light that in the morning, and it just kind of like reminds me like, oh yeah, I'm in work mode now. This is where I've come to get my work done. Also break up your day, so like don't sit in one spot all day and just work. Get up and go for a walk or make and eat some lunch. Get creative, draw a picture, paint your nails, make something, be digitally sociable, call a friend, and practice healthy habits. So that moves us on to my second point, ways to cultivate some healthy habits. I have a lot of links here if you want access to them. This is a really hard thing, being stuck at home. I mean, many of us can still go outside and go for walks or runs, but being stuck away from our friends, loved ones, significant others, it's really hard, and it can make us really lonely. So you have to take care of yourself. For mental health, I think it's important to touch base and check in with people. I've been FaceTiming my friends who live far away and friends who live like 10 minutes away from me that I can't see right now. A lot more often than I usually do, and I think that's really nice. I've been having like weekly phone calls with family members. So touch base with people, check in with people, and look at their beautiful faces on a screen when you can't talk to them in person. I know it's really like hippy-dippy and weird, but I genuinely believe that meditation makes you a happier, calmer person who can cope with stress and anger and frustration and sadness in a much more productive and healthy way. I didn't start meditating until I was in my 20s, and it has changed my life. But give it a try on Calm, Headspace, or Insight Timer. These all have free meditations. I really like Headspace. This dude, Andy, is British, and he has a lovely accent, and he just kind of talks you through checking in with yourself and making sure you're okay. Journaling. I'm terrible about journaling, but it can be good for you, and it might be interesting to write down how you're feeling and what you're doing in a time like this. 20 years from now, you can say, I was alive during the COVID outbreak, and I painted my nails. Okay, Miss Ryan. Also, there's a lot of like bad news and a lot of stressful messaging, a lot of kind of sensationalist messaging going around. Take some time to notice and share some good news. And there's just a couple Instagram accounts that I follow that share good news from around the world, and you can check those out if you want to. In addition to mental health, it's important to take care of your physical health. So we're stuck at home, we don't have gym class, we're not walking between classes. My student athletes are not able to practice right now, which is heartbreaking. So do some things to take care of your body during this time as well. I put some links in the newsletter as well. You can try some yoga, another hippy-dippy favorite of mine. I've been doing yoga since I was in high school. I took an elective dance class, and my dance teacher was a yoga teacher, and so we did yoga a lot. And it's awesome, and it's really good for your whole body, and it's good for your mind. And it's not like crazy hard to get started, although there is crazy hard yoga out there that you can try. And there's free classes online in a lot of different places, but I like Yoga with Adriene. You can check it out if you want. If you're not into the yoga thing, Fitness Splendor has free fitness classes online. Go for a walk. Go for a jog outside. Go get some fresh air. It is beautiful outside. I'm working with my window open up in my attic. Just don't go for a walk with people that you're not already quarantined with, or walk with them like 10 feet apart, which you could also do. Eat as healthy as you can. I know the first week of NTI, I was sitting at my kitchen table and snacking constantly because I was just like stressed and bored and stuck. So try to like schedule meals and not just like use this as a total veg out session. Although, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you just need to eat half a bag of Cheez-Its. And stay motivated with your physical health journey. Find an accountability buddy and check in with them on your progress. So maybe it's somebody that you call, or maybe it's like an Instagram post or something like that, where you just say like, hey, I did my run today. I did yoga today. I did an ab workout today from Fitness Blender. And if you don't have an accountability buddy and you want it to be me, you can tell me all about it, and I'll tell you that I made myself go on my run even though it was awful and I did a poor job of my running that day. Immediate needs. Anyone who needs access to food, there is a link in here that will take you to a Google map that will show you all of the places that Shelby County Public Schools is providing food for children up to 18. So please share that information with friends or family members, whoever needs it. Check that out, and you can show up and get free food. While we're talking about health, flatten the curve. You've probably heard this a lot. Be mindful of your role in this international crisis. Things are getting really dicey in some places around the world. And we don't want that to happen in the United States. And as weird as it is, staying home and taking care of yourself and social distancing and self-quarantining, that's how we can do the best help right now. So practice social distancing, wash your hands, and tune in to reputable scientific sources to get your information. Make sure that if you are listening to people talk about this COVID-19 outbreak and this pandemic, that you're listening to the people who know what they're talking about. This is a really interesting resource you can take a look at, but Kentucky shut down schools, and we are the blue lines here. Tennessee waited a week later to shut down schools, and you can see the dramatic increase in COVID transmission that they have had. Now, I don't know, I'm not a statistician, so causation and correlation and all of that makes my brain hurt, but I think that by not going to school and by practicing social distancing in the state of Kentucky, we are doing the best that we can to take care of ourselves and our loved ones who are more vulnerable right now. If you're curious about what flattening the curve is, there's a resource here. You can check it out. Dr. Anthony Fauci is the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. And usually when President Trump has a press briefing, he's the shorter guy with the great New York accent. You can listen to what Dr. Fauci has to say about COVID-19 and what we're doing as a nation. Also, Governor Beshear has a daily press briefing at 5 p.m. So if you want to know what's going on with coronavirus in the state of Kentucky, you can watch it on KET's YouTube. It's also on local news. My husband and I tune in at 5. It's a nice way to end the workday and just check in on what's going on. Also, I linked a couple websites here if you want to know more about coronavirus nationally or in the state of Kentucky. Okay, so moving away from health concerns, scheduling for next year is happening now. Ms. Settles has made a video and shared a lot of information with you all. I think if you click this link, you will be able to access all of these resources. So you need to go in to... There they are. You need to go into Infinite Campus and schedule your classes for next year. If you are trying to do this and you get confused or frustrated, please reach out to me or to Ms. Settles, but you are welcome to reach out to me and I will try to help you figure out everything that you need to for scheduling classes for next year. JCTC dual credit students need to watch the video linked here so that you understand what you need to do for your spring semester courses. So make sure that you check that out. Okay, now I'm going to run through some quick announcements for my different classes. Once I have talked about your class, you can shut this video down if you want to. English 1 students, before you submit your final version of your Of Mice and Men essay, please make sure that you have watched all of the videos that I have made and that you have read the rubric to make sure that you've done everything that you need to do to revise that essay and make it shipshape before you turn it in. I'm grading them with very high expectations because I gave you a week and a half to write it and a ton of resources to help you revise it. So please make sure that you use those resources to help you fix it all up nice and pretty and fancy before you turn it in. This is for English 1 and English 2 students working on No Red Ink. Make sure that you click the lesson and look at it and read it before you start the practice. So if you click on the practice without reading the lesson, you're just going to jump straight into practicing something that you might not understand, and it's just going to keep giving you questions until you get 3 right in a row, which will be really frustrating if you don't understand it, and I don't want you to be beating your heads against the wall frustrated at home. So please, please, please read the lesson. If you get stuck, send me a remind message. We can Zoom chat, we can text on remind, and hopefully I can help you understand what you're working on. English 2 students who are completing grammar work in a packet or otherwise not on red ink, you need to be checking in with me to show me your progress via remind or email. AP Lang students, so we know that there are changes to the AP exam. We don't know exactly what they are yet. We also know that we are not going to be meeting in person for a little bit of time, but I am working right now on a plan that is going to allow us to still be focused and prepared for the exam, but still feel like we are in a class together. I don't want this to feel like you're just doing solitary test prep skill and drill at home, because that's kind of soulless and I'm not about that. So working on a plan. By the time we come back from spring break, I will know more and you will know more about what we're going to do moving forward. Also, the changes to the exam will be released April 3rd. I'm watching lots of webinars and checking in with AP Lang teachers across the country. So by the time you all come back from your spring break, return to school mode after your spring break, we will be ready to rock and roll with our final unit. And I will do so very informed of your exam changes coming up. So that is all I have for you all. Thanks for tuning in to your newscast with Miss Ryan, and I hope that you're all doing well. Please reach out if you need anything at all via Remind, email, etc. And I love you all. Bye.